Hey, uh, hi, this is Evan. Basically, I just wanted to make a video because I realized I kind of just like posted my top surgery videos and I didn't really talk about myself at all. Originally, I was supposed to have like 2 videos before those videos. That didn't work out, like, because I am officially 2 years on T. That's super exciting. I started T on July 8th, 2010. So yeah. I was supposed to make a really cool video for my 2 years on T, but my video recording devices and such, editing devices and whatnot, didn't work. So I'm 2 years on T, 2 years and 2 months basically, and that's been quite the ride. I wish I could have shared that with you. I can still share my experiences and stuff for sure. So yeah, I was just really bored and I wanted to make a video kind of talking about me, because all the videos on here, with me in them haven't really explained who I am. I guess I could just talk about starting T and stuff. I think that would be a good place to start. Let's rewind and go way back to when I was, 16 years old, and I thought I was gay, and I joined the GSA on my high school's campus. I had a very open-minded high school that I went to, and so it wasn't that hard being out as gay at all. But the only problem was I didn't really, there's still something wrong basically. As most people, as you would guess from seeing me now, I do identify as gay, but a completely different kind of gay. I actually identify as pansexual, not necessarily gay, but I'm in a gay relationship. Anyway, I joined the GSA on my campus, or my high school campus, and through them and the GSA network in Southern California, I learned all about transgender stuff. And basically just through that education, I was like, hey, that sounds a lot like me. A lot like how I feel, a lot like how I've always felt. And I met a lot of trans people through, the groups that I went to and stuff like that. Through them, basically, I met a lot of trans people, and, I was like, you guys feel the same way that I feel. Like, it was like it clicked into place. I was like, oh, yeah, that works. And I was in denial for a while, for probably, let's see, I was probably around 14 or 15 years old when I came out as gay, and around that, like, when I was turning 16, probably 15, 16, I was realizing I was trans, and I went through a denial phase where I was like, no, I'm just androgynous or genderqueer, and I tried that, and it didn't really work. I kind of got to the point where I felt like I needed to transition, and that was probably around when I was 16 years old. I was like, I'm gonna start identifying as a trans man, as FTM. I basically came out to myself when I was 16, finally. I was like, this is who you are. Although I had realized it probably a year or so before that, but, so that's when I came out to a couple friends. I started talking to teachers also. I don't think I have any problem with any teachers actually calling me male pronouns and, like, more gender-neutral name. Eventually I did pick Evan, but I wasn't in high school. I just graduated high school when I officially picked my name. I came out to my parents when I was 17 years old, and it didn't go very well, as most people. It doesn't, fly. It doesn't, oh yay, we have a trans kid now. No. It was a process, definitely. I had to go to therapy with them. I had to go to therapy myself. I started gender therapy when I was 17 years old, probably. Yeah, I was 17 years old when I started gender therapy, and I did that probably a year before I started hormones, because I started when I was 18 years old. I brought my parents to therapy. I talked to them myself. I brought them to my trans group, which I was going to, because there was previously a transgender group that met out by where I lived, and I would bring them to that, and the people there would, talk to them. There was a parents' day where people brought, all their parents, or anyone who could brought parents, and came and, and they all talked, and it was great. They, that was really, I think, the turning point where they realized, people can be happy and live like this, and there are people like this. Like, they had never heard of it really before. they were just really worried about my happiness and my safety, as most parents usually are. And that kind of reassured them to know that, you know, I could be okay living as a trans person. And so it was just basically educating them. That was the big part. Basically, yeah, I came out to my parents, and about a year later I started testosterone, and that was fantastic. I would say the thing that helped me most when I was pre-T, as far as dealing with not being on T, was just talking to people, other trans people, and, you know, just either whether they're on the internet or in person, just talking to them and being able to be like, hey, we've been through that, you've been through this, you're going through this, you know, you're going through the exact same thing that I'm going through, or, you know, you've already gone through it. And so that just really helped, knowing that I wasn't alone in it and that things did get better. That was probably one of the biggest things that really helped me, was just having people to talk to, other trans people. What also helped me was, you know, wearing men's clothes, which I've been doing since like I was 15 anyways, but that always helped. I realized, you know, I basically, my whole wardrobe since middle school contained mostly men's clothes. So, and my mom was always really cool with me being more tomboyish. So it was never really a problem with me buying men's clothes and wearing men's clothes. To me, they were more comfortable, and I told my mom that, and she was like, okay. I was really lucky as far as that goes. So I was never really not wearing men's clothes to begin with, but once my whole wardrobe was men's clothes and I was getting read as male more often, just passing in general because I was wearing men's clothes, that just helped a lot. I couldn't open my mouth. I couldn't really talk because my voice was so high. You know, someone would say, excuse me, sir, what can I get for you, or something, you know, whenever I was out, and the minute I opened my mouth, they'd be like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize, you know, I got it wrong, and I was like, man, you didn't get it wrong, but, or they would just, like, change, they'd be like, the next time they addressed me, they'd be like, ma'am, and I was just like, ugh, but, so I wouldn't open my mouth much, which isn't really a way of dealing with it. As far as my voice goes, I did try and use exercises to lower it, and those helped a little bit, but mostly the voice stuff was the thing that got me the most. One of the other things that was really helpful for me pre-T was working out. That's how I got a lot of my aggression out, a lot of my anger, a lot of my frustration, was weightlifting or running or working out in any kind of way. And it also helped me feel more masculine because I had pretty decent muscles. I've always had pretty good muscles, just because I've always worked out, and that was something that just helped my self-esteem. Not only did it help me feel better about my body in general, but it also helped me feel more masculine. So I would suggest, you know, if you can, work out, weightlift. I think it helps, but everyone's different. But for me, for some reason, exercising always makes me feel better. So that always helped me. That's the most I can say about pre-T stuff. I mean, if there's anything really specific that someone wants me to talk about, I'd be glad to talk about it. There's a little bit about me you get to know. I will do a video because I am now I'm a day before being 3 weeks post-op, my top surgery, so I'll do a separate video for that right now, actually, just because this video is kind of long and not really on the topic of top surgery, and so I'd like to keep this video separate. But you can click over here, wherever it ends up being, to go see that video that I'm going to upload at the same time, hopefully. I am now 2 years and 2 months on T, and I feel great. I know it's really rough being pre-T, but honestly, once you get to being on T, it feels so much better. At least for me, it did. So I'd love to talk about anything you guys want to hear about from me, since I'm kind of pretty far in my transition, comparatively to other guys doing YouTube videos. So just let me know. Alright, I guess that's it. See you guys later.